Alright, so welcome back to Daily Level Coding. So in today's video, we're going to learn how to set up our Docker container for our Node.js application with Postgres database. So this is what you expect from this video. So the first one is we're going to move from SQLite to Postgres database. And then we run our server inside a Docker container. And then we set up our Docker container for production and dev environments. So if you follow along for this video, for this repo right here, so you can, this is the part 3 of the series. So where part 1, we build the CRUD operation, and part 2, we build the test for this one. And this part, we set up this one inside with Docker. And if you want to follow along, you can go to the link in the description. You can clone the master branch, and then you can do yarn install to install all the necessary dependency. And the final code you can find is right here. You can go to the setup Docker right here. This where you can find the final code. If you just want to see the code, you can go to this branch. All right, so I think that's pretty much it for our introduction. All right, so let's get started. All right, so here I'm using VS Code, so you can use any tag that you want. And I have coded my project already. I have to yarn install everything already. So the first thing first we're gonna do is we're gonna set up the Docker for our Postgres first. So after that, we can move from SQLite to Postgres database. So what I'm gonna do is if you on Macs or if you on Windows, so first inside your VS Code extension, you can download Docker extension. So after that, you can do Control-Shift-P or Command-Shift-P inside the window. So you can do Docker. So when you do Docker right here, they have add Docker file to your workspace. So you can choose that one. I'm going to choose this one. So there's a bunch of projects that you can choose since we are using with Node.js. I'm going to select this one, select package.json, and let's say I'm going to go with default right here. Include Docker Compose. Yes, that's what we need. So by doing this, it's going to set up 3 files. I think 4 files, but maybe this one we might not need it. This one I'm going to remove this one right here. So we have the Docker ignore that will ignore every Docker. And also this is just the Docker Compose file, just for a sample. And just this is the Docker file. So I think for now I'm going to empty this one. So we'll write this one from scratch. And also this one, I will remove this one as well. For now, with Docker file, I'm not going to do anything. So I'm going to just say from base image, just to avoid the error. All right, cool. So right now I can close this one. So if we go back into this one, so this is what we're going to do. So first I'm going to set up the Postgres first. So to set up Postgres, you can go into the links below to my repository. And also there's another video that I focus on how to set up Postgres inside Docker. If you want to watch that video, there's a link inside that one as well. Feel free to watch it. But if you don't want it, that's fine. You can just come here and copy this one. So I'm going to copy this one right here. So what this one will do is to run the Postgres image inside with Docker. And this is what it is. All right, so to run this one, what I can do is I can do Docker compose up. So inside this one, it's going to start our Docker right here. And as you can see, we have set up the Postgres. And this is the password, and this is the port that we expose. So, all right, so right now everything is good to go. The next thing is we want to run our server. So for now, our server, we are running outside of the Docker container. So what I can do is I can do yarn run dev. So this will run not inside our Docker container. What I can do. So right now this one is connect to DB. But what we want is we want to change from the database config right here from the SQLite to Postgres database, right? All right, so what we can do for this one. So this will be our database, and this will be username and password. So if we go back in here, so this is what you can see. This one is, I'm going to choose this one is Postgres username, and this one will be password. And if we don't specify the default database, so we can choose it will be username as the database. So I will change this one. And then for our host, so we're gonna have like our host storage. I'm gonna remove this one, and this one we can change to Postgres. And for the host, we can use the local host. Local host. All right, cool. So, but this one, you can see everything is success. We set up this one correctly, but right now we have this one is wrong because we need to install the package PG, just like SQLite. So as you can see for SQLite, we have this one right here. We have to install, but for Postgres, we need to install it as well. So what I can do is I can yarn add PG, and then also I'm gonna do yarn remove SQLite SQLite as well. So basically we remove the SQLite 3. Okay, very nice. So right now we have this one, and if we go back into here, I think I'm gonna restart our server. I'm gonna do yarn run dev again. So as you can see right now, it's connected to DB, but this DB is connected to our Postgres database instead of the SQLite. So right now I can remove this one. Okay. All right. So right now I'm gonna go into our Postman. I'm going to post to this one, to our API. So I'm gonna post to create. So I'm gonna create a new to-do. So right here. So let's say testing with psql. So I'm gonna run this one. So you can see that we successfully put this one, and it's also inside our Docker, our Postgres Docker right here as well. Right now I'm gonna go pgadmin. This is our login. So admin@email.com. So because if you can see right here, it is mounted to it. This is the email and this is the password for it. And then what I can do is I'm trying to connect to the create a new server. What this server will do, I can say what you just name it. You can name it whatever you want. I'm just call testing one. And for connection, it's going to be let's say Postgres. So because this is the name of the container, so you need to use that one. So I can use this one. And then for the username, it's going to be Postgres as well. For password, it's going to be Postgres as well. You can hit save this one. And then you can open the testing. So go to database. And then we're going to have this Postgres right here. So, and then you can go to schema, and then you can go to table. That we have the to-do right here. There you go. And then you can see view all row. And there you go. So right now you can see this is our to-do that we just created. So right now I'm going to create a new to-do. Let's say new to-do. And we hit save. So right now we can try to refresh this one or query it again. All row. So right now you can see there's 4 records. All right. So I think that's pretty much it for this one. So that's how we move from SQLite to Postgres. All right, so in this part, what we're gonna do is we're going to run our server inside of Docker. So you can see right now, we're running 2 separate servers. One is from the Docker container and expose it. And one is we run directly on our computer, which is not what we want. What we want is to run our Node app inside our Docker. So to do that, I'm gonna close this one. And then I'm gonna close this one as well. So first we're gonna do is to see, I'm gonna go to Docker file, and so this is where we're gonna write our Docker file for our server. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna choose the image. So I'm gonna do like Node 16 as the base. So and then so it means what this one means is that okay, I'm gonna use the Node version 16. And then I'm gonna do the works directory. For our work directory right here, I mean like the folder inside our container where we're gonna place our apps. So I'm gonna use the us/or/app. So right here you can use any folder you want. So I'm gonna use this folder. And then we can use copy. So first we're gonna copy the package.json. So it's going to be package, and then we're going to start.json. And then where do we want to pass this one? So it means that, okay, I'm going to copy package.json to this one right here. So since we're using this folder when we use copy, and then we do something like this, so it means like we copy the package.json into this folder. The next thing is what I want to do. I want to copy tsconfig and then /json and to this one as well, the same things. And then I want to install the TypeScript inside our project, inside our container. So it's going to be TypeScript, and then we're going to do -g, so we're going to use this globally. And then I can run the npm install or yarn install if you want. I'm going to do yarn install right here. So, and then I'm going to copy, once again, I'm going to copy this dot right here. So what this dot right here mean? It mean that, okay, I'm going to copy everything from, you can see from everything right here inside into our container. All right. So that so that what this is all about. All right, great. So right now everything is good. So we need to go inside our Docker Compose. So inside here, so I'm going to change this one a little bit. Instead of Postgres, I'm going to call this one DB. And then we're going to create a new service called the server, not service, server. And then for this one, we're going to use the build file, and the path for this one we can do, let's say it's going to be context. So our context is going to be the dot. So it means that, okay, where this build file is. So this build file is located to inside here. So we're going to do dot, and then we can do the Docker file. It's going to be the Docker file. So let's say Docker file right here, which is this Docker file. And then we want to target this one. The target is going to be base. All right, so you can see because we're using this one as a base, so it means like we're going to use this whole right here. So that's why I put the target base. All right, great. So then, all right, let's try to run this one. Let's see if it, oh, I think I forgot one more. It's the thing is we wanted to do, we want to expose the port for this one. So what I can do, I can do port, and then we can do 9000, and then we're gonna do 9000. So which means that, okay, right now our server is running on ports 9000, but it's running only Docker container, Docker network, so it cannot expose outside. When we do something like this, so it means that we can access this port 9000 from outside as well. And then the next thing is we're gonna have the volume. So the volume is gonna be mount from this one to the folder that we just used. So as you can see right here, I have this folder, work directory, and inside here mount from every dot right here, I mean like mount everything from here to here. So what this will allow us to do is that, okay, so it's gonna allow us to, in the development mode, so whatever change in here, let's say you update the code, it's make a hard reload to this one as well. All right, great. So now we can do one more command to run our server. It will be yarn run dev. Okay, I think that's pretty much it for this one. All right, so let's see what's happening. So what we can do is I'm gonna do Docker compose up. You can use build if you want to. So I'm gonna do let's say it's if you fail to run the Docker compose up, you can do, let's say Docker compose up -- build. So this will build our Docker image. So it might take a while. All right, so you can see right now our server is up and running, but we have some error right here that, okay, server is running on port 9000, but seems like we cannot connect to our Postgres, so because it was refused. So what we can do inside, in this case, instead of, so as you can see right here, our DB, if we go back into our database configs, we set up this one local host instead of this one, since it's run on the same network. What we can do is run using DB. because this is will be our container. It will talk to this database directly. So after this one, it make a save. So right now, as you can see right here, what important as you can see right here is that right now we connect to the DB. So because since we're using inside our local network instead of localhost, we can just put our container name directly right here. All right, very nice. So let's try this one again. Right now, I'm gonna go back into this one. I'm gonna do create again. So you can see we be able to post create a new to do. Okay, so I think that pretty much it for running our server. But as you can see right now that our server is running for only development only. So next we're gonna set up for production and the dev environment. But before doing so, this one you can see the DB right here. It's a good thing that you don't want to expose this one to the outside, because we don't want to other people to access our database directly, only our server. So if you remove this one, what this will do is will not allow us to connect to this database directly, because we not expose this one. This one cannot be reachable from the outside networks. So this one is only accessible inside our Docker network only. And the other thing is that as you can see, when we go to pgadmin, we have to connect all over again. So we want to save that state. We want to save that volume. And so what we can do, we can do the same thing as the volume for Postgres database. So we can do database, let's say data pgadmin /data. So then you can do something like this, and then I can use this one, and then we can do something like this. So right now, when we make a new server, we be able to create, we persistent the data of it. And last but not least, for our compose. So what we can do is, you can see right now for the database. So you don't want to use the default Postgres database, right? So you can use let's say you want to use your own database. You can give it a name. So I'm gonna use this one instead of I'm going to use this one as the, let's say, default database. It's going to be read from the environment. So I'm going to do create.env. That this .env need to be ignored. So I'm going to do .env right here. So we don't want to push our .env to our inside our GitHub. So right now, what I can do inside here, the DB right here. So I can use the DB. The default DB is going to be equal to, let's say, for development. So I'm going to do testing. But if you want on production, you can change this default DB here to whatever name a database that you are using. Okay. Great. All right. So right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase this one, stop this one. So I'm going to do docker compose down -v. So what that -v will do is going to be remove all the volumes that we have. So our persistent data will be gone. So I'm going to do docker compose up again. Okay, so right now it's start to build this one. Everything is everything is just exactly the same things, but for our database, so as you can see right now, I think we're using the wrong database. So instead of this Postgres right here, we need to read it from we need to read this one from our env, right? So for that, we need to use one package. So I'm going to do yarn add .env. So you need to install this package. You can go to database configs, and what you could do, you can import this one. So I import .env, and then I can do .env.configs. And then for Postgres database right here, we can do process.env. Our env right here name is going to be default db, right? And then we need to do this one as a strings, because this is spec as a string. All right, so let's see this one. I think I make a change on this one. Hopefully this one is reload. So once again, I'm gonna all right, let's see. I'm gonna do docker compose up again. I think we haven't tested yet that okay, this one is reload or not. So right now you can see we have this one. You can see it's connected to DB, which is great. But what I want is I want to test that this one is reload or not. So I'm gonna create a new route. For this route, it's gonna be called testing. And then what this will do is gonna be request res, and we're gonna do res.send hello world. Okay, not hell world, it's hello world. All right, I'm just misspelled right here. Sorry. Okay, so let's see. So right now, if I go into localhost /9000/API/v1/ I think it's just testing, right? Let's see, this one is testing. So you can see it's hello world and it just reload. Okay, very nice. And for now, let's try to do this one again. So this one, please. I don't remember the email for this one. It's admin@email.com. Okay. And then we're gonna go to admin. This one is gonna be admin. And so we log into this one. So we're gonna connect to our server. So you can see when I down -v, it's clear all the volume. And then I can create a new server, and I'm gonna call this one as testing. And for the connection, it's gonna be DB. And for this one, it's gonna be Postgres. And there you go. So right now, we can have this database. So you will see one database named testing. And inside this testing right here, we're gonna have the table which is our to-do. If I query the to-do right now, it will have our data. So you can see files. I'm gonna post a new data. So there you go. So right now, I think I'm gonna say new 1111. So okay. If I'm going to check all row, we can see that with new 111 right here. Okay, that's great. So if you want to change the database name, you can just come in here and change the name. Okay, all right. So I think that's pretty much it for this one. The next thing is we're gonna set up for production and for dev environment. All right, so see you guys in the next part. All right, so in this part, we're gonna set up our Docker. Docker. So in this part, we're gonna set up for production environment. So this one is for development environment because we mount volume right here. So whenever what change here is mount to this one. But for production, as you can see when we run, so we can run just run build. And after that, we be able to serve the node from this server right here. Okay, so to do that, what you need to do, you need to create a new Docker compose. That's what I do. I'm gonna do Docker compose /prod. So which means like, okay, this is the Docker compose for production environment. So for our production environment, it just, I think it's a little bit different from this one. What we can do is we can do the same things. We expose the same thing, but we don't have the volume. So because we don't want to mount anything, right? We can just serve from one thing. So if you right now, let's say to run the productions, let's say I'm going to do just yarn run build. So when I do yarn run build right here, it's going to have create a dish folder. So this is where our server will listen to. That's why inside our package.json, we do node / right here that will run inside this one. This one is inside our file. So we want to do this one inside our Docker. So to do that, that's why I'm going to do not any volume. And then for this one, for our command, it's going to be yarn run start. Because inside our package.json, we do this one as start, right? And the next thing is that we can do is we can go to Docker file, and then we can do from one more stage. So this stage is as a base stage, and then we can do for another stage is for the This one is for the production. So we can do from base. So I think this one from base. So I mean like from this one, from this everything right here, we're gonna continue more as prod. So I mean as production. So what you're gonna want to do more is gonna be yon run build. So when production, we not only install, we not only copy everything, but we do one more step. It's gonna be yon run build. Okay, so that's pretty much it. When we go to Docker Compose prod, and then we can change everything is just like this one. So you can see this will be our productions. All right, so yeah, I think that's pretty much it for our production. For that change, I just a quick one of this one. So to run this one, what you can do is to -f and then you can do docker /compose .prod.yml. So this one and then you can do up, and then you can do --build. So it's up and running. This one is for production because as you can see right here, it's running from the node server from JS right here. All right, so I think that's great. So what we can try to do is to do the same things. It's great, so we can be able to post. But if we go inside, let's say, so what the difference is that when we go to route right here, so let's say I'm going to try to delete this route. So you can see if I go to this one, you will be see hello world, right? If I try to delete this one and I hit save and I try to refresh, this one is still there because this one is for production and it means that whenever I change here, will not be affected this one. So if you want to do development, you can do from the like we do in the previous part. So right now, this is it for our production environment. And then I'm gonna do close this one. And for the compose right here, it will be for Dave. So instead of this one, what I can change this one instead is so this one, if you want to run the production environment, you can run this one. And if you want to run the Dave environment, you can run this one. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Also, right now you can see whenever we run a command, this one is going to be a little bit long first to run. And then you can create a one file. It's called makefile. It's going to be makefile. So I'm going to copy my makefile. So I'm going to explain what it is. And then, all right, cool. So this is what my makefile have. So first it's going to be the command. Let's say this is the same as command that you will run, right? So this is, let's say, for production. You can do, let's say, this one is going to be up production, right? So production. And what you can do, instead of typing this long file right here, you can just do Dave, and then you tap, and then you write this one. And so what this allows us to do is instead of run this long command, I can just use one command, just make, and then I'm going to do whether you want to do production or Dave. You can do just make prod, or you can do just make Dave. So this one will do the same things. Okay, so you can see this is a list of command right here. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. The last thing that you may ask, how am I going to run a test? So to run a test is that what you can do is you can run the outside right here. You can just yon run test, or you can just run the from make test. You can just make test right here. So that's how you run a test, even though we run in a local file, in a local container. But for test, you can just do the same thing right here. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for this video. All right, so I'm gonna go into this right here. We can do a checkbox right here. Okay, I think that's it for this video. I hope you learned something from this one. If I make any mistake, please let me know in the comment below. And if you have any suggestions or any recommendations on any video that you want me to do next, please feel free to comment below as well. And yeah, hope you like this one. Don't forget to subscribe and share this one with your friend. All right, see you guys in the next video. Peace.